Today, for the very first time, we're gonna hunt Emerald Coast in multiplayer, and what I really want to do is focus on the Eastern Grey Kangaroos. If you watched yesterday's video, you may already know why I want to, but we visited the Opal Point Sanctuary in the north, and of course, there was a legendary kangaroo in our sanctuary with a massive estimate, and it's been bothering me ever since, so we're gonna pretty much focus on kangaroos today here in multiplayer, but when we get to particular drink times, we'll stop by some of the lakes down here in the outback and maybe look for some of the deer species and stuff we can find in the process. And it looks like we'll be getting started with a group of roos that we must have spooked, and the only reason they're coming back this way is we actually fast travel back to grab 16 gauge buckshot. I thought that would be a fun kind of kangaroo defense weapon today, because we do have the M1 as our main kangaroo hunting weapon. I also went ahead and put the latent walnut wood on this thing, and it looks absolutely fantastic, so we may have to consider using the M1 a little bit more, just because it's got so much wooden surface area to really show that off. But no aggressive roos in our first group, so we'll have to wait to see the 16 gauge buckshot in action. But as for that guy, a brown fur type 427 score. I felt like, since release, we've seen more brown fur types, like, being decent sized. I've said from the very beginning, if we can get a brown fur type diamond, I would love that. Maybe the ideal is to do the Roomble multi-mount with one kind of like the common gray and one brown. But either way, it kind of makes me feel like it's more possible when we're seeing so many that are pretty high scoring and have that brown fur type. Now I know I said we'd be focusing on kangaroos, and already we're looking at some hog deer, but it is hog deer drink time. I wanted to come up here and check this spot. It's one of my favorites for them, and I think probably there'll be even more here because it is the beginning of hog deer drink time, but that's a decent male. Might as well take that with the 22-250, in worst case. It kind of gets everything moving that may be hidden in the brush that we can't see, but it does look like we got the best one, at least from what I can tell. And honestly, as much as I think we've got a real shot of getting a trophy kangaroo of some kind today, whether it's a diamond or not, it's actually these kind of opportunities, whether it's hog deer or fallow deer, red deer, the things that are going to be drinking down in the outback, that I'm actually maybe looking forward to most, in terms of just having a chance at running into something cool along the way. But nice little gold there, and we'll kind of continue our way back down to kangaroo territory. Oh, and it did not take long. I think that's a guaranteed diamond as well, 495 to 571, almost the exact estimate. From our sanctuary one, I think that was 487 to 560 whatever. The wind is not good here, and to be honest, we're pretty near a number of players based on the amount of shots I'm hearing, so either we alert it with the 22, or just keep on sneaking into the point that they end up going alert. I think we're safer, as I can hear one of those shots. Let's first just shoot into the air. That got some of their attention, but not his. If we do it twice, yeah, that's gonna work. Get the M1 ready, 0 for 150. He is just absolutely taking his time as well, but if he'll stand up and face us, or even stand up facing away from us, just need him to like stand still and present that vital shot. I don't really know what he's doing, but it's definitely not that. The mythical's just gonna flee, and he's down there as if nothing happened, so let's actually just shoot like near him with the 22, just to try to get him to actually give us a shot. Getting a little bit farther away now, and that's gonna be tough with the trees. We gotta be in the right spot here. Have to move over, I think, because he's gonna do that, and that's gonna drop him. I don't know where we hit him, but for me, I think it has to be sort of a quick process, because they don't stay in that alert animation for long, but it's the stillest you can get them to be. And as long as we didn't, like, I don't know, shoot him in the head, we should be fine. But those shots we were hearing were close. Like, I didn't want him to keep on going. One other thing to keep in mind, I felt the tiniest bit of lag when we claimed that hog deer, and I really hope we aren't, like, barred from claiming this. Got the vital blood, so it was not a headshot or anything wild like that. Able to claim a 513. He is the gray fur type, so not the brown that I was talking about earlier. But we will take it. Heart shot from the M1 at 214 meters, actually heart and double lung. And spine for good measure. That is a pretty good size one. Let's tax that so nothing crazy happens. Love to see that 1,000 session score come up in the chat as well. That is pretty cool. So, obviously, I'd love to do the multi-mount. And at some stage, we'll want to get another one. I really didn't expect to actually get one at least this early on. I figured we'd get trolled 4 or 5 times and, you know, stuff like that. But we'll take it. And yeah, I mean, there's rares as well. Look at that. We were not far from having terrible things happen. But there's lots of potential to find other things with that multi-mount here. So we'll just keep on hunting roos. We are not going to change our plan. Sir 12 just barked at something, so I think we should get a chance to use our 16 gauge buckshot on an aggressive roo wherever it is. I'm guessing it's maybe over with these. It's gotta be around here. That's gonna be the one right there, just a level 2, and I don't know where it's actually going. We'll just gotta help it find his way. I really don't know what it's doing. This is the first time we've had an aggressive roo in multiplayer, so maybe there's some differences there, but even at that, that worked pretty well. The first shot must have been vitals based on the blood. Middle neck, actually. And then second shot was liver and lung. I thought we were maybe a bit far forward, but not bad. So that's something to consider. If we get, you know, a rare or a maybe another level 9 that goes aggressive, we gotta be careful we don't shoot in the head with buckshot, because I would like to use the buckshot. I think that's gonna be a cool way to take them out, but it can also backfire. You know, I think there's a very real possibility today that anytime we take a kangaroo from a group, it's going to be level 8 or higher, only because basically every group of roos seems to have at least one level 8 or better. We'll see, but at least here, we've got our second mythical, and obviously we had the level 9. That shot may not have landed where I wanted it to. And we'll see if maybe that one was better, because that brought him down quickly. It's a pretty good demonstration of what could have gone wrong with an eye, but actually our second shot was a vital, so I guess that would have saved it. That's a gray-brown 411, and yeah, just a touch too far right, and we caught him basically right in the arm. Somehow, double lunged him on the, I don't know, on the hop there, however you would call that. Definitely lucked out, but we'll take it. And we're starting to move through like the southwestmost portion, which I've had a lot of success with roos down here before. I've also seen, as far as the outback goes and stubble quail, the most in this particular area. So I went back to birdshot in the 16 gauge in case one shows up. And that, outside of the magpie geese, I think that would be the one that could be the most difficult to just sort of stumble into a diamond for. So if we could get one in multiplayer, all the better. Now actually, on the opposite end of the kangaroo scoring spectrum, there are level 5 males, which I believe are the lowest levels for them. I've not seen anything lower than that, and we've been adding a couple of things here from the Emerald Coast to our Hall of Shame. We don't have a kangaroo yet. I think we just did that exact same thing. Maybe even twice, because our second shot looked good again. But I'd love to add a Hall of Shame kangaroo to our Hall of Shame lodge, and I don't know if all level 5s make bronze. I actually don't know if any level 5s make bronze, but we might as well get it and see. And I can't believe we literally, like, carbon copied what we did on the last shot. And we can see it from here. Vital blood the second time, flesh hit the first time. Not that I'd want to try to do it again, but I really doubt we could ever pull that off twice in a row again. The same exact shot. The only difference is the second time we got double lung and vertebrae. That's nuts. He is a silver at 239, so you probably can get a bronze, in which case we will hopefully wait for that, but I still can't believe that actually happened. The odds of doing that twice in a row, not on purpose, are pretty low, I'd imagine. And we do have another aggressive one as well, so gotta swap back to our buckshot, and hopefully this time we can get more of a front-on shot. It's probably going to hop to where we took the shot from, so we'll have to kind of cut it off. Actually, I may have gone for like a normal attack. We maybe should have let that go, but still, enough to get it. How are we doing this? Brain on the second shot. Some of the most bizarre shooting we've ever had. And here we go again. A legendary kangaroo laying there. This one is actually a guaranteed troll. Diamond is 492. That one's got no chance, but we might as well take it out. And I guess if we are going to find multiple legendaries. I'd rather it be in this order, but let's see if we can just kind of dial in our shooting again and get back to just making good shots on high-level ruse. If he's going to do that, that'll work. And for whatever reason, when legendaries show up, we seem to be just fine. Now, it does beg the question, should we tax it for the multi-mount? He has a 476, so still, trolled by 16? Not a terribly, small level 9, though we've definitely seen worse. Hard shot that one as well. I think we won't tax it only because it's the same fur type anyway, and it's a troll. But definitely not bad finding a couple of pretty decent ones. There's another level 9, up to 499, so probably that's going to be a troll too. This was the spot where we had the most kangaroos in early access, and I could not remember where it happened. He's also the brown fur type, so it'd be really cool if he makes it. There's an aggressive one here too. That's just a level 3. They typically don't actually go that far. It's just a matter of, one, spotting him again, that's him, and maybe, it's actually 2 aggressive ones, maybe just quickly, we kind of get this taken care of without spotting anything, so we stay on his trail. The one that we did shoot was a level 3 female, so I don't know what the other one that went aggressive was, but if we just kind of let them hop on out there, and then start following them and hopefully get on the level 9's tracks, it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, he just stopped in time too. If we get a 22 shot down range, early enough that he doesn't drop below that hill, and accurately enough to actually get him to go alert, we might be able to take him without too much tracking. I think that's the brown variation. Could be gray brown. I don't know about that shot. That might be liver or something. He wasn't that terribly far away, I don't think. 230 meters? I feel like I should have been okay, but it took him some time to go down. Now, if you've not played the Emerald Coast much, and you're maybe concerned about the amount of level 9 kangaroos, what I would say is, this is more like seeing a bunch of level 5 feral goats back when Te Aroa came out. For most species, what we really would have just seen is either 2 9s and an 8 or a 9 and 2 8s, depending on what this guy scores. There are just a bunch of troll roos out there, and I kind of wish maybe the more of the low scoring level 9s that troll by a bunch were mythicals, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to see that max level and get your heart going. Speaking of getting our heart going, by the way, we did make the shot, so it must have either been liver or like bottom of the lung, and he definitely is the brown variation, I would say, not even gray brown. So let's see, can we luck into a diamond with a really low estimate? A little bit bigger than the last one, 478, but still a gold by quite a lot. And we did, wow. Why did that hit that low? Maybe we just didn't aim as high as I thought, but liver and stomach. Gotta be careful about that, but I think this time we will tax it just for the sake of making the multi-mount, kind of like we did with the croc after we shot our diamond magpie goose. It's kind of going to be a placeholder, but I'd like to get the multi-mount up, and really, it'll be an opportunity to try to decide where to place that multi-mount in our lodge, because I haven't really figured out how we're going to do that just yet. So I've gone ahead and joined another server with a better time, just to, at the very least, hunt something other than a bunch of, level 8 and 9 kangaroos, and there is one kind of decent stubble quail in there, and we'll take 2, but again, multiplayer, typically best not to cause too much hunting pressure. Sometimes if you do that, you'll just end up getting kicked, but got a level 1 female, and a level 2 male that's still a silver, actually. Still 40 shy of the diamond mark, and only 4 shy of being a gold. I thought he might be a little bit better than that with that estimate, but even still, this is the spot, right down here, like on the west side of the map, where I do tend to find the most double quail, and it is in this particular server, 9 AM, so I thought we'd have a chance of maybe running into red deer, fallow deer, those sorts of things down by these lakes, and still hunting for either another diamond kangaroo or a rare, something to go in that multi-mount other than just our other troll. But not too bad. Our first red deer of the hunt is a pretty solid level 7. Got a bunch of stags over here, and this, by the way, is that little lake I talked about for hog deer. One of my favorite spots, just at the kind of northern center of the outback area, but we're going to need to get that red stag alert, and then actually, with our M1, kind of going back to the red deer great one grinding days, an opportunity to go for a hard shot, although we did not land it. But it did get into a single lung, so gonna be enough to get him down. And at least it's kind of a little bit of a break from constantly hunting kangaroos. And by the way, to circle back to our back-to-back level 9s there that both trolled, they were trolls by like 15, 20 points, something like that. I mentioned for almost any other species that just would have been 2 mythicals, and I think that's the best way to look at it. You're just gonna see a lot of level 9s, you're gonna see a lot of max levels on this map, and a lot of them are going to troll. It just kinda is what it is. It's definitely a little bit something different, and I'm curious to see if future maps end up being the same way. Because what we're used to is, if you see a max level, you know, pretty good chance it's a diamond, outside of like reindeer, feral goats, and stuff like that. Here, if it's 50-50, I'm not even sure. It feels like it's a greater than 50% chance they troll. But anyway, our level 7 is a gold at 205. Shot just above the heart, actually. I thought we may have been too low. It's kind of interesting, but 205 score for him, even though the chat is trying to hide it. And we'll continue our way over here. I think we're going to cut down across towards these lakes. I know fallow drink there, and by the time we get there, it will be fallow deer drink time. So any roos or anything we can catch along the way would be great, but we should have at least a chance at finding some fallow deer down here. One thing's for certain, it is definitely not a bad fallow deer lake. Got a couple of decent ones here, and I think that's the white fur type, but it's kind of hard to tell in the shadows. But I'm going to say that is the best thing around here, so let's take that with the M1. Try to be a little more careful than we were with the red deer. That definitely does the job. I really like what we have for our fallow grinding weapon. We have the 308 AR with the black matte metal and the dark gray paint. It looks really sleek. The one thing about it is, when you fire all 5 rounds, if you didn't keep track properly, you don't get the ping that the M1 gives. And every now and then, because there are so many fallow deer on tail row where we're grinding, and we end up consistently firing all 5 rounds and needing more, the ping of the M1 could really help in, you know, preventing trying to fire a shot when you don't have any rounds left. So that was one of the reasons I decided to bring it here today. So I really haven't decided yet if we're going to swap, because like I said, I do like what we have, but it was a bit of an opportunity to use it without actually taking it to the grind, and boy, 2 for 2 on fallow, having no chance with it. But I do think these are going to be our last 2 kills. Got a 215 scoring spot, and I think that white fur type was right around that same area. And I'm genuinely almost nervous to go back to the trophy lodge and make a decision as to what we're actually going to take down in favor of the Kangaroo multi-mount. We'll have to go through. I don't actually even know what size platform is required for them, and that's really going to shape what we actually end up going with. But that's definitely, we already put up the Croc and Magpie multi-mount and took down the Lion one, which, frankly, that one I had planned on removing anyway. It's going to be a little bit different to have, you know, such a change in our lodge. This guy was 187, actually. I thought he was a good bit bigger, but 2 golds to wrap it up. And let's go see what we can figure out at the trophy lodge. You know, as much as I love the side-by-side multi-mount with 2 whitetail fighting, I think that's probably the one that we'll get rid of, because it just allows us to have much more variety. And we've got whitetail all throughout this lodge, including the huddle mount. So, really, I think this can work. And we'll have to look through. Maybe there's a better place to put this and then swap something to the massive platform, because they definitely don't completely fill the area unless you do something like that. But I think the mount that we're going to go for, actually that kind of works. At least for now, that is our diamond, clearly having, you know, knocked out the troll. So let's go with that. Actually ends up being pretty good, so I'd still love to get a rare, maybe for that spot, or even another diamond. A rare would really fit the exact same vibe that we're going for here. But it's a big change to see our trophy lodge looking like this. And one of these days here soon, I'll go through and see if maybe there's something we could swap into that spot so that they fill the platform better. But it's really cool. We've now got 2 of the new diamonds. Also still have, you know, troll crocs, troll roostas, and stuff like that we've run into, but good to start to check off some of those diamonds from the list. On that note though, that's going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.